right, welcome in to Arkansas Sports Now as we're talking some high school sports. I know you guys like when we do that, seems like anyway. Brad Caldwell, Justin Smith here. We've got a couple coaches we're going to talk to today. We've got Coach Garrett Hill. We're going to get to him in just a minute. And then we've also got Coach Spencer Gay of the Heber Springs Lady Panthers, Coach Garrett Hill of the Pottsville Apaches. They've got a huge game coming up tonight with the Ozark Hillbillies as a top 10 matchup. So, Coach Hill, I'm going to bring you on in here, and we're going to talk some Apaches. Coach, you doing all right?
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. You got quite a team this year. You guys are playing well. You have had a really good run here. Last year, had a good run, making it to the district finals, making it to the regional finals, making it to the state second round, and you've got a good group of kids and some pretty good basketball players also.
Yeah, last year we had three starters back from last year's group that had a pretty good year, and like you said, we got to the district finals and then the regional finals and won the first game in the state tournament. And I mean, this group's just they've played a lot of minutes. They got a lot of experience, and obviously they came back this year just wanting to improve, wanting to go a little bit, obviously a whole lot farther if we can, but just improve on last year for sure.
Well, last year you ran into Dardanelle. They had such a good team last year, and I mean, they were just your bugaboo, really. I mean, and just had so much talent. This year, you guys still got a chance to play them. You got Ozark tonight as well, those two teams in your conference, really two of the most challenging teams that you have. Talk a little bit about the Hillbillies tonight and what you have against them.
Yeah, whenever you talk about Ozark, the first thing you think about is how well they shoot it. They got probably two of the better shooters, just 3-point shooters in 4A probably. So, and then they have three or four other guys that are capable of knocking down open ones. So you have to do a good job of guarding the 3-point line. And then Coach Johnson at Ozark does a really good job game planning, and they do a good job man-to-man defense and mixing defenses and things like that. So it's just we talked about it last night when I saw him at the junior high game, and it just seems like it comes down to these last couple games like this every year between us and them and Dardanelle, and it's a lot of fun, but obviously this time of the year is important.
High stress as well, right?
Right.
That's what you play for, but it's a stressful time. You guys are 19-2, and the only two losses you guys have are to 5A schools. And I know a guy sitting over here to my left that will question the Russellville one. He says that
all day.
He says that one wasn't necessarily officiated all that well. But 19-2 is nothing to shake a stick at here when you're talking about some of the teams that you guys have played. You've got a good schedule this year. You've challenged yourself. You've won a tournament already. You've won two tournaments already. That's right. Yeah, they've won two tournaments already. So tell us a little bit about your team and just some of the kids that make up your team.
Yeah, and like you said, we try and challenge ourselves in the non-conference earlier in the year. With a tougher schedule, we played Alma and we played Russellville and we played Greenbrier, and we went to the Clinton tournament and ended up playing Clinton, who's another good 4A team. Jasper's a 1A team, but we played them in the finals of the Quitman tournament, and I think you guys have them ranked number one in 1A. So we try to schedule our schedule as tough as we can. To hopefully get prepared, and then obviously the Russellville tournament, playing Russellville and Pulaski Academy, who is another one of the top probably 10 or 12 teams in 4A, and that's just we want to always feel like we're prepared, and so that's helped us, I think. And then like I said earlier, we have some experience back from last year's group. The three starters, J.C. Jones, Cade Brodigan and Anthony Hoke have played in a lot of big games. Obviously, playing Dardanelle 5 times last year, those were all big games. Ozark, the Ozark District Tournament, we were down pretty good and had to fight back. Anthony had a big game for us that night. That was a big confidence builder for him. But obviously JC, everybody knows JC and how he can score it and all that. And Cade's come a long way, confidence wise. And I mean, he and JC have been neck and neck all year offensively, with who's leading us in scoring. I mean, it just seems like they go back and forth every other game. So, but Anthony does a great job for us. He's kind of the do it all for our team. He usually guards one of the other team's best players. He's really good at cutting and finding open holes whenever JC or Cade gets double teamed, and he does a great job of passing and finding open people too. You get to when we get our stats back after every game, a lot of times you'll see he's got about 7 or 8 points. He's got 8 or 9 rebounds. He's got 6 or 7 assists.
A couple
He's
steals.
just that guy that, yeah, he's that guy that does a little bit of everything for us, and he's really, really important to our team. So those 3 seniors have kind of led the way. They do a good job in practice. They don't let us. I mean, it just doesn't ever seem like we have a bad day, like a bad practice. Because they're of their leadership, and like they just refuse to let us have a bad day. Some of the guys that have stepped up this year, that Court Johnson, he played quite a bit last year in a complimentary role, and then this year he's done a good job stepping up and stepping into that start lineup. He's gotten so much better defensively. He does a good job of talking, and he's another guy that can kind of play multiple positions. He can guard a guard or guard a post, and he scores it and he's made some really, really big shots when we've needed him to this year. And another one that I'm really proud of is Caleb Lewis. He came in. He's handled the ball a lot for us this year. And like with JC on your team, I mean it's hard. It's hard to kind of turn over that point guard role to someone else. And Caleb it's made us so much better. The fact that JC doesn't have to bring the ball up all the time. He's able to get out and run. Lewis does a good job of pushing it. And the role I kind of asked him to do going into the summer this year is to kind of give us a guy that is trying to get other guys shots. And he's took that role and ran with it. And he's got in the gym and got a lot better as a shooter. Whenever those guys leave him, and he's knocked down some big open shots, and he's doing really good job of getting those other guys open looks too. So anyway, that's the first 5, and then we've had 3 guys pretty consistently in the rotation that's come off the bench. Boston Heflin is another senior. He's done a good job shooting it. He knew coming into the year that he was going to have to be able to knock down open shots to help us, and he's done that. And then Eli Mowdy, he was hurt earlier in the year, he broke his wrist in the preseason before games started, and he didn't come back till right around Christmas break. He hit some big shots in the Dardanelle game when we were able to beat them, and he just does a really good job of being solid. He does a good job being solid, is a good defender, and he knocks down open shots. And then Ryder Middleton is a sophomore.
He's been coming on strong lately, Coach.
Yeah, he's just a big, long, lanky, athletic kid. He does a really good job running the floor, getting out ahead, and he gets some easy baskets that way. He does a good job offensive rebounding and rebounding on the defensive end too. And he's just a guy that gives us somebody to help guard the rim and rebound for us. So the group has fit together really well, and hopefully we can keep getting better. Obviously, there's always room for improvement, but like so far so good as far as the way the group is meshed and fit together. You never know how groups, whenever you're playing, like you got 3 grades there, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. Most of the time they've never played together before on the same team. So this group's fit really, really well together so far, and it kind of goes back to that senior leadership. Those guys making everybody feel comfortable and included and leading by example.
Yeah, you guys have done a really good job of developing some of the kids like Heflin and Lewis and some of these others through JV basketball. Those guys were guys that really helped you last year in JV, and then this year they're stepping up into prominent roles. But Coach, at 19-2, it's a heck of a year so far, but you also know that the most important part of the year is coming up. You got district tournament coming up the week of, February the 16th? Is that right? Is that when that starts?
Yeah, it's next week. Next week will be junior high district, and obviously senior high will finish up. I think our last game's next Thursday. And then that following week, that following Monday, will be when senior high district starts.
And then regional, obviously, and then, of course, you guys are trying to be in the state tournament over there at the 4A in Morrilton, which we'll be at, so we're looking forward to being there. But, man, we just wanted to touch base with you and check in. You guys are number 6 in our poll, and I know that JC's dad, he's like, why'd you move us down? I was like, well, we didn't really move y'all down as much as we moved Blytheville up. And so somebody goes up, somebody's got to come back down. But number 6 in our poll, and you got number
stacked.
10. Yeah. Number 10, Ozark tonight. So it's a great matchup. I think what Ozark is, 20-4 themselves?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, they've had a good season.
Yeah, 20-4, 5-1 in the league. So
Cooper Dewar, he's a really good shooter.
good. It's a good matchup tonight. Underrated matchup. You can watch that if you're interested in watching that on the Pottsville Apache YouTube channel. So, anyway, Coach, thanks for joining us here today.
Yep, I appreciate you having me.
Yep. All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks. See ya.
Coach Garrett Hill of the Pottsville Apaches. Justin, you're definitely familiar with the Apaches.
Oh, yeah. I'm real familiar with Garrett. I've known him for 33 years now, somewhere around here.
I remember Garrett when he was a star of the high school team. And
Garrett was a ball player his whole life. He was a star on every team he played.
Yeah.
He's humble about it, but that's just the truth. He was a good baseball, basketball, golf, everything. He could do it.
Yeah, he's definitely a ball player and done a good job with the high school team. These last 2 years have been a lot of fun to watch Pottsville basketball.
I've had a great time.
A lot of wins there for sure. And that Ozark game, he mentioned that Ozark game last year in the district tournament where
Hoke had a big night.
Well, you got to remember, 77-71 with a minute to go.
Yeah.
Ozark was up.
Yeah.
And somehow Pottsville found a way to get it to overtime, and that ended up being an 80-77 game in overtime. One of the best high school basketball games that I have ever seen. It was a fantastic ball game and a lot of fun to watch. But
a lot of hard playing in that game.
Absolutely. I was just going down the line here before we get to Spencer Gay of Heber Springs. His team is also 20-4.
Yep.
Just come off a loss to Pulaski Academy. But they're firmly in the mix in the 4A5 North. But before that, I was just kind of going over some games tonight, see what matchups are out there, something that jumps out to me. Magnolia Arkadelphia on the girls' side is going to be a big one. I was looking at that 4A7 there. There are 5 teams, DeQueen included. And I think DeQueen might have just a small step up when it comes to the rest of them. But there's 4 teams battling for 3 spots behind Nashville. Nashville is right there. You know, basically Nashville's the number 1 team in 4A and really probably a top 5 team overall. They're very, very good this year. Just looking here, and I'm trying to see if anything jumps out. A lot of different matchups. Heber Springs and Morrilton tonight on the girls' side will be a big game there. Hall and Malvern on the boys' side. That one, you know, if Malvern could pull the upset off, Hall. They've got 5 losses. They're 13-5. Their losses are like the Bryant, and they're a little different than everybody else. Or I say everybody else but Mills. Seems like those 2 are the top 2 in 4A, and then kind of everybody falls in behind them.
Says Earl plays Pulaski Academy tonight.
I think
that's weird.
Is that right?
That's what the SP Live schedule says. It could be
Man,
completely
I'm going
off.
to tell you, it's so it's so screwed up right now because of the snow.
Yeah,
but yeah, we can.
They played Mark Tree, won 25-8 last night. That's a weird score.
Who? Boys?
No, girls.
You're talking about Earl or
Earl? Yeah.
Okay, so I know the reason that score is they got in a fight.
Oh.
And the game got canceled.
Oh. The girls' game?
No, the boys' game.
Oh.
The boys'
Well,
game.
the girls' game said that it was 25 to 18. That's what I mean. It could be wrong.
Well, they might have. I don't know. Maybe somebody can let us know in the comments what happened there. But anyway, again, just looking at some of these games here. That's not what I wanted. Harmony Grove and Two Rivers, definitely not what I wanted there. Let me see here. Viola, I was just looking to see if they played anybody. Harding Academy and Riverview, boys.
SC Life says the boys' game, just PPD, whatever that is.
Postponed.
Oh.
Yep. Postponed there. The Southside girls trying to bounce back. They got hammered pretty good last night. Southside Batesville, not Batesville Southside Charter. They got hammered pretty good last night by Forest City, so they're trying to bounce back against Truman. Conway North Little Rock, that's a really good girls game. Really good girls game there. Let's see here. Nothing just jumping off the page at me right now. Brinkley and Clarendon on the boys' side, that's a big game. DeWitt and Lakeside's got some conference implications on it. Melbourne and Mountain View on the girls' side. That's a big game tonight.
Yeah.
Rector and EPC on the boys' side, pretty big game there. Osceola Manila, that's always an interesting game for sure. Just down the road from each other. Marion and West Memphis, there's a rivalry game.
All day.
Boys game right there. That's going to be a good one. And I'm just literally just going down the list here. Parkview and Sylvan Hills on the boys' side. That's a good one. Hector and Mountainburg on the boys' side is also a good one. Hector's at 19-0 right now. Travel to Mountainburg. And really Mountainburg's been the only team in that conference that's even been close to challenging. So being at Mountainburg tonight, that's not an easy trip for Hector there. What you got that look on your face for?
Oh, I was checking out Jasper, their schedule, to see what they were doing, and I just never heard of this Founders Classical.
Yeah, there's new basketball teams popping up all the time now around the state, especially in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, it's Rogers. Okay.
Yeah.
No wonder they got a weird name.
Yeah, you doubt very seriously that they're there for athletics.
Yeah.
But they
seriously.
still play though because they want to draw people in.
Oh yeah, I love the competition. Yeah. Keep let's win something. Good for them.
DeQueen and Camden Fairview on the girls' side, going to be a good one. Siloam Springs and Van Buren also on the girls' side. Should be a decent game there. Bentonville West and North side, that's a good game on the girls' side for sure. Berryville, Huntsville, that's just a rivalry game there. That's a real rival game there. Bergman and Valley, speaking of rivalry games, that's a good rivalry game there. Girls' game should be interesting there, always is. And that's about it. As far as not a real, I mean, it's a heavy night of games, but not just heavy in big-time matchups tonight. So, anyway, boy, I'll tell you what, our page is hot right now as far as just tons of info out there. I know that we have at least, I believe it's 3, and there's one in our inbox right now of off-the-backboard dunks. Throwing it off the backboard and dunking it. There's 3 videos on our page, and we've got another one in our inbox right now that we will get out there. I'll tell you what, that page has been hot with signing day and with just the videos and pictures and whatever. So, anyway,
I know something that's important for tonight for Pottsville in particular.
Yeah.
By
the way, that's just looking at the schedule. That's one of the biggest games of the night.
Really, and for both girls and boys, because the Pottsville girls, their only conference loss was Ozark. The last one we were at Ozark. And the simple fact is, and every parent will agree with me because I talked to them all, they literally, it didn't matter what they did, it looked like they were walking in mud all night long.
Sometimes
just
it's
something
like that.
about it. It just, they couldn't get that, they couldn't find that gear. And you know, they lost a tough game. And that's their only loss in conference. Without that,
For 2 years.
Yeah, for 2 years. Without that, they're sitting at 6-0. But they're looking for some revenge tonight to, because they ran conference and district tournament last year and had a pretty good showing in regional. Got beat out first round in state, but never know what's gonna happen in the shakeup in the state.
Right.
Just
well, number one, out of that region, you want to try to win as many as you can, because when you finish in the 4 seed or the 3 seed, like last year, they ended up with DeQueen in the first round. That obviously wasn't very good for them, but they had a good season last year. And I said something the other day. Let's see if I can clarify. I'm looking at it right now. They're 5-1 in the conference. They finished. What was it? They finished. What was it? 11-0, 10-0.
10-0 in the conference last year.
Okay, 10-0 in the conference.
They had an 11-0 run to going into district tournament. They won 2 games in district. Yeah, so that a 13-game heater.
Right.
Won 2 in regional.
Yeah,
but just 1 in regional.
Well, I'm just thinking about 4A4 competition.
Oh yeah.
So they won 12 in a row there, and then they won 5. They're 5-1. So
yeah,
they're
won
17 out of their last 18 against 4A4 competition. 13-7 overall. They're probably just outside the top 10 in our 4A poll.
Yeah, they have good losses. I mean, lost Greenbrier, Westside Greer's Ferry, which is probably their biggest loss. That was a 28-point loss, but I mean that's Westside Greer's Ferry. They're one of the best teams in the state, no matter what. Lost to Equipment and Alma. Equipment's a good team.
Ozark sitting at 2-4 in the league, by the way, and big game for them tonight.
Lost to Melbourne, Russellville, and Ozark.
Yeah, so they've definitely got some good. I mean, played some good teams on the losses there. Ozark sitting at 2-4 in the league. They're really battling for that regional spot. Of course, they'll be decided in the district tournament. Anyway, but they're sitting at 5-1. Dardanelle sitting at 5-2. Waldron sitting at 5-2. So you're right. This is an important game for them for sure. Yeah. But anyway,
want to win this one, and Waldron, I think is our toughest next opponent. Dardanelle, they handled pretty easily when they played at Dardanelle, and I'm not gonna talk bad against Dardanelle, but they don't have Stevie Tanner. They lost Stevie Tanner, and they lost good percentage of their scoring.
Right. Well, let's move on here, and let's go ahead and go to Heber Springs coach Spencer Gay. We talked a little bit about everything with Spencer. Talked about 4A girls as a whole. Talked about his regional. Talked about the 4A5 North there, and we talked about quite a bit. This was recorded from earlier today. So make sure that you take a listen here as we go to Coach Spencer Gay of the Heber Springs Lady Panthers. Welcome back in to the Arkansas Sports Network, and on the phone with me I've got Coach Spencer Gay of the Heber Springs Lady Panthers, and we're going to talk some hoops, talk about his team, talk about just his conference, one of the toughest conferences in the state, and we're going to talk a little bit of 4A girls hoops. So, Coach, man, thanks for making some time for us.
I appreciate you having me.
Well, number one, we know that it was a little bit of a rough time for you the other day on Wednesday night. And I know there's a little bit more to that game for you because you served under Coach Becky Yarbrough there for so many years at Star City. But you guys dropped a 59-51 battle there to them, and talk about that one a little bit.
Well, first off, they don't beat themselves. So well coached. Becky does a phenomenal job. Some of the 5 years that I spent down there were the best in my career. I just learned so much. Great basketball coach, but she's just even a better person. Game started off kind of hot. We got them on a second night of a back-to-back. We had Clinton the night before, and that Clinton-Heber rivalry is always huge. So, but quick turnaround. They had a game too, so no excuses there. We started off hot. I think in the first quarter score was 20-6. Everything was going our way, and then they realized they remembered that they were the number 2 team in the state and that they were good too. So they had a really rough quarter, and then it was just a battle from second quarter, third quarter, and then fourth quarter. We went back and forth a couple times. We found ourselves with like a 1-point lead about halfway through the fourth, and they took it back and held on for dear life, and kind of had to foul at the end to try to get it, regain possession of that lead, and they knocked down some free throws to ice the deal. So Great game, just a battle all night, but it was a great atmosphere. It was a great game for the kids. Kids played their guts out, man. So
Yeah.
I was proud of them. Walked away disappointed, but I was proud of the kids. So
Good high school basketball game nonetheless. And, man, your conference, even though you only got 5 teams in the conference right now because Lisa Academy West hadn't played a game. They're listed in your conference. But, man, your conference is just brutal. I mean, you got Pulaski Academy, you got Robinson, you got you guys, you got Morrilton. And Clinton, I mean, Clinton's not a bad team at all, and they're sitting at 0-4 in the conference right now. I mean, this girls' conference, especially in the 4A, I mean, you're talking about at times, at least in our poll, you have 4 of the top 10.
there is our league is tough. I've talked to Morrilton and Clinton, and they'll say something like, we're just a little down this year, and I don't think that's the case. They might be a little down, but those two lead this league, and they go anywhere else and have a chance to win another league. Clinton played the Queen earlier, lost early in the year, only lost by 1 point. The Queen's really good. I think they played Dardanelle, or, there's some other conferences where they would fare really well. And it's just our league is just so gosh dang tough. And, I think that you could probably call our league the most mobile from last year to this year because, it was kind of moved in central. Joe T got 4 or 5, PA got 1 eligible, I got 1. And so, it kind of changed the landscape of what our conference looks like. You take all that stuff away, and I'm not sure that it still falls the same way that it looks right now. So, but yeah, I mean, it is a very tough conference. You got to bring it every night, which is actually, come on, you've been familiar with our conference. It's not really been that way in the past. And so I will say, it is a little bit more exhausting. You got to be prepared every night. The snow did not help us out, having to pull back-to-backs, but it's more fun. Just having to be prepared every game. Right. It really kind of shows you who knows their stuff and what kids can really perform at a high level back-to-back nights.
Well, I know that snow has it's thrown everybody off really, but right now, this week especially, I mean, everybody kind of getting back. I guess Forest City didn't go back till Wednesday, and there's some other schools that didn't go back till Wednesday, maybe even yesterday. I mean, it's been a long break for everybody, and right here in the middle of basketball season, when things are really just kind of getting kicked up, I know it's got to be tough to not only play all these back-to-backs, but then before that to try to keep your kids sharp and try to get them all to practice and while all this delay was going on.
We went back Monday, and I'm fortunate. Our kids know what it takes to be good. They know the program, and so I think Thursday of the day before we were allowed to get a little shoot around, and Friday we were allowed to, have a practice, but we could only say something like it's not mandatory, but highly encouraged. That's that sort of wording around it. But man, we had kids beating down the doors to get in the gym on Monday, and they, and they when they could walk, have to walk here or ride a bicycle to get here, and some of us were like, all right, which one of us is open the gym? So-and-so's wanting in, and we're like, I'm snowed in, nobody, I can't come. And so it turned into a real ordeal. We couldn't get in, none of us coaches could kind of get into the gym until about Thursday. But man, we had a good showing on Thursday. Good kids turned out Friday, and hey, that always makes me feel good. And that's why, I'm comfortable going to battle in this league, because no matter what the score says at the end of the game, our kids give their hearts. And as a coach, I couldn't be more proud of that. But man, I was blessed to come in on Monday.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I was stir crazy last week with 5 days off. I can't imagine having 6, 7, 8, 9 days off. Couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I'd go crazy.
Man, you got quite a stretch coming up here. Basketball tonight, it's Morrilton. You're at Salem on Tuesday night. Wednesday night, it's Robinson. No, that's a huge game for you guys. Then Friday, you're at Bigelow, and you wrap up the regular season at Pulaski Academy as well. I mean, my goodness, that's a stretch of good basketball. You're going to have to be ready and prepared in every game. And really, just looking at especially the Morrilton, Robinson, Pulaski Academy games, it's going to tell a lot about what you're going to do as far as going in. Do y'all have district tournament?
We do not have a district tournament. Top 4 go to regionals.
Yeah.
And so, that just puts more emphasis on it. Every conference game matters. You said, Joe, we played Joe T on Wednesday. That game has actually been moved to Thursday. I need to go update that on the computer. But we moved that game to Thursday because of junior high district tournament. And there's a chance that thing could get moved to Saturday, depending on, if both teams make the finals. So, there's still some kind of stuff up in the air there. But yes, we have 5 games left, and of those 5 games, there's 4 really high quality opponents. And so, we made the schedule like this. It was our doing, and we wanted to make sure that we were battle tested. I thought last year we went out first round in the region. We went out first round to Mills, who was good. They made the Final Four there. They were really good. But I thought, it came down to points in our league. It was like a 3-way tie for second. And so I thought we went home a little early, and it was frustrating. So we got together and we thought what we could do, and the girls were like, well, let's schedule a little harder. And then, you schedule harder, and then some teams get move-ins, and some, kids leave. And so there were some teams that we thought would be really good who wound up being a little down, and some teams that we thought were going to be down that wound up being really good. So 5 games left and 4 high-quality opponents. It's going to be a fun ride.
Well, looking back at your schedule here, I mean, you do have quite a bit of good teams. I mean, even going back to Jasper, November 11th, Jasper's schedule's very tough. They're a pretty good 1A team. Arkadelphia, Mayflower, both those are pretty good. Westside Greers Ferry, you beat those guys. They're pretty salty themselves, and that was at Greers Ferry. I know that was a good win. I mean, definitely some scheduling there. You've had some time to really play it out this year. 20-4. I mean, you guys are doing well. Let's talk a little bit about your region here. You're sitting in a good spot to make the regional tournament, but as you know, and as we know, the higher the seed in that regional tournament, the better off you're going to be. And you talked about how that it's going to be, the next few, like 11 days, whatever it'll be for you, it's going to be a battle. Talk a little bit about what you see on the other side.
There's been a little bit of movement just recently. We went in and played East End, who's over there in that region. I think they were a 2 seed at the time. I was excited about that game. I think we played them the day after Martin Luther King Day. Maybe January 20th or something like that. It wasn't very long ago, but the Friday before, I was really looking forward to it because I thought that would give us a good test of where we measure with the other side. But the Friday before, Easton played Mills, and their point guard, Precious Powell, gets tossed out of the game at the last 15 seconds of the game. So she had to sit during our game. We wound up pulling off a win against Easton, but I would have liked to see them full strength. Mm-hmm. Now, since then, their stud, Morgan Thornton, has quit the team and transferred back to Stuttgart. So they don't really look the same. And since then, it caused a rift in their own team. They're trying to still steady the boat. And, they took another loss the other day to Bauxite. That was Bauxite's first win, rather. So that league kind of looks at, I think it's going to be Mills and Fountain Lake undefeated right now. I think they're at the top, both of those two at the top 2. And then the 3 teams battling for 2 spots, probably going to look like East End, Malvern, and Bauxite. Right now, I think Malvern's the low man on the totem pole, with East End and Bauxite tied for third place spot right now.
East End at 2-2, Bauxite 2-3, Malvern at 2-3. At least that's the way it's currently updated. So,
okay.
Anyway, let's talk about 4A as a whole here. We're going to be at 4A this year. Looking forward to being at 4A. Looking forward to being at Morrilton. I hope I see you there. Yeah, well, I hope you're there. I do. But we love being at Morrilton, man. They always do it first class over there, and then their gym. I just feel like it's one of, if not the best high school gym in the state. Not just built so well. They just did a great job with it. But just love being over there, 4A State, looking forward to being there. Tell us a little bit of what you're seeing around the rest of the state.
Well, I think Nashville's the clear one. I think they're, maybe 15 points better than everybody else. Just from the scores I see, the comparisons I make. I've been lucky enough to see them on film just one time. But, man, they've got the pieces. So provided they stay healthy, I think that they could be – that they're going to be a tough out. I know from personal experience that PA and Joe T are going to be tough outs. I think that we're very good. I think that we're right there with them. I think we lost to Joe T by 4, PA by 8. So we're in that little mix too. I've seen Mills. Mills's record is not indicative of how good that they are. When they want to play and lock you down, they can. Batesville Southside is I think good. I know they took a tough loss to Forest City, who is also good. I think they lost by 35 the other night, but I don't really know the story of what had happened there. Highland, don't sleep on Highland. Their coach, Coach Cecil Meyer, does a fantastic job. They run a matchup zone, and his daughter, who battled some cancer stuff back in the day, not too long ago, actually, a couple years ago, has now, I think, kind of, I don't know if she's fully clear, but she's back and she looks very healthy, very good. And so I know they appreciate all the prayers and all that. And so they're fun to watch. We're in a little matchup zone, and they'll be a tough out as well. The enigma to me, Warren has a good record. I don't know as far as, I don't know off the top of my head who they played, but I know that Beth Grant is a product of Leslie Bird Henderson. So, Beth Grant has been around a winning program in Watson Chapel. And so that she's going to be able to coach her butt off. I do know that. And she'll have people scouted, and she'll do a good job, give her team the best chance to win. The enigma to me is Watson Chapel. They've got some good wins. They've got some questionable losses to me. I'm not really sure. They dropped one to Monticello, who I don't know much about. But they've also got some really good wins. They beat the Queen early in the year. I say early, maybe early in January, something like that, maybe mid-December, something like that. And I could be wrong there, but I know that they played and that Watson Chapel took that win. So they're a question mark to me. I think when they shoot it really well, they're really good. They've got a big in the middle that you kind of have to respect, because she can dominate that paint and keep you out of it. And but when they're missing, they're missing. And so they're an enigma to me. I think that they could be. And Arkadelphia is huge. And then in the north, you've got your usual suspects: Pea Ridge, Berryville's winning some games up there, and then Shiloh Christian's good. So I think I named about 12 right there. Who did I miss? I know that you're aware of what's going on for you. So who did I miss?
Who did you miss? Well, I mean,
Yep.
we got Pottsville in the 4A4. They've won, about 25 or 22 of 23 games in the 4A4. Recently, they've got 2 wins over Watson Chapel. Well, here, let me.
Yeah, they dropped one to Ozark, didn't they?
They did. They dropped one to Ozark. That was the of 23.
And then Clarksville turns around and beats Ozark. So that league, I know Waldron's pretty good in that league too.
Yeah.
So that league's kind of a question mark to me. And Chance Johnson does an amazing, just as good a job as anybody else. He's
Right.
been there. He's seasoned. Does a great job. And so, that might have been a fluke. I don't know. That's Pottsville is one I left out. I saw them play here. They're a scrappy little bunch. They'll get after you.
Yeah, young group, sophomore laden group. I'm going to get the standings pulled up real quick just to make sure that now that since I'm in the mix now, I want to make sure that we don't miss nobody. You mentioned Shiloh.
Yep.
Highland, Blytheville sitting at 2 in that conference right there.
Okay.
You talked about Waldron a little bit. You got your group. Fountain Lake Mills, you hit those. East End, Bauxite, you got all those. Forest City and Southside hit those. And Nashville, DeQueen, Camden, Fairview, we talked a little bit about them.
Camden Fairview could be a sleeper, and Magnolia too. I think Magnolia has got a win over DeQueen.
Yeah. So
Camden Fairview is huge. They have 2 6-footers and some athletic guards, and they can sneak up on you. If you struggle with some size, those chokers can get you. We've played them in the Classic over at Pulaski Academy right after Christmas. And when you see it, I think that when I saw them on film, they only had 1 6-footer, and then they show up and they've got 2 6-footers.
Yeah.
And one that just come back from knee problems. And as far as cardio goes, she was a little out of shape, but you can't sleep on that team. They're big, and they are very capable of winning games.
Yeah, down there in the 7 right now, you've got 4 teams battling for 3 spots really with DeQueen sitting at 3-3, Camden, Fairview, Arkadelphia, and Magnolia. They're all battling. And, you know, last year kind of same situation with that group. One's going to be left out and not going to make it to the regional
A
tournament.
good team is not going to go. That's right.
And then, like you said, Warren, I mean, you know, Watson Chapel sitting at 15-8 right now. They are 2-2 in that league. Star City's actually 3-1 in that league. Behind Warren. So that covers it, man. I think we got them all now. We've mentioned about everybody that's going to make a regional tournament. How about that?
Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I didn't realize I was so smart.
Well, man, I think that pretty much do it for today, and we're looking forward to seeing what happens, how it shakes out. You know, I think your regional's at home, right?
Regional is at Heber Springs. It'll be the first time in, I'm going to say, a decade that we've hosted a region, and it could be longer than that.
Yeah.
But I do know that. I do know that I think that is going to be at Heber Springs. We're pumped for it. And I'm really hoping that our boys get in. We hired Tony Davis over here, and I can't talk about Heber Springs without Tony Davis. He's got the boys playing very well. You talk about a guy that, I've known Tony when I was in college. He was at Clarksville High School, and he had the league kids, but when he came here, when he was interested in the job, I told him the league was tough. He winds up taking the job, and I just didn't know Tony like I thought I knew Tony. What you see he's like a Becky Yarbrough. What you see on the court is not who he is off the floor.
Yeah.
So he's very intense on the court, wanting to win. It's kind of like probably Jason Smith is that way over at Greene County Tech. But off the floor, man, they'll help you however they can. He is a fantastic supporter of our program, and he's got our boys playing really, really well. They got their first win, I think, in a decade over Clinton the other day. And it was electrifying. He turns around very nice night, plays PA, and loses by 1 on a buzzer beater in overtime. But he's got these boys playing well, and I'm hoping, I am praying, Lord, hear my cries, that our boys make a regional, because I think our league is tough on the boys' side over here too, and I think that there's like one game between them and making it. But there's also, but that's the case for about 3 other teams in this league too on the boys' side.
Boy, you want to talk about a tough regional? That boys' regional, good God!
Oh, it's murder.
It's
murder.
crazy.
But the real question is, what happens next year? Because my league disappears. And I'm curious on if anybody out there can just you have 3 days of free time. I'd love for you to draw out the conferences for me, because my league, PA goes 5A, Joe T goes 5A, Clinton goes 3A, and that's 3 of my 5 girls teams.
Right.
So me and Morton, the only 2 girls teams left, and we got to go somewhere. So somebody draw us the map. I'm sure AAA. I don't even know if they've started on it yet. I'm sure they've got it figured out. But
yeah, you might drop into the 4 again. You and Morrilton both.
Well, that's what I was thinking. The only problem is, my only question mark is they can't take me all the way to Mean and Waldron. That's 3.5 hours.
That's true.
That's a long drive. And so I just don't know where that line splits at. Does Harrison come down and they go Pottsville? Pottsville, do they take Dardanelle to us, to Harrison, and do something like a little diamond? I don't know. But I've been listening. I've been trying to keep my ears to the grindstone and listen to people. But nobody they're tight-lipped over there. So.
Well, it is something that people are wondering. I got a message from a 3A school the other day. What do you think is going to happen in our conference? And Clinton was actually involved in that question. So anyway, everybody's wondering, but we'll find out, I guess, after state finals, because they got to figure out where these private schools are going. If they're going to, if some of them advance on and have to go up into a class or not.
Well, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
District tournament, fan or no fan? Because 4A, every conference gets to pick their own deal. And I'm just, Karen over at Morrilton and I have this conversation every time. Now, we have both been in 30 years or whatever long she's been, 25 years, and my 15, we've been all over. We've been the clear number 1. Mm-hmm. We've been the clear number 4, and we've been the clear number 6 with no chance to get in.
Yeah.
And we've been everywhere between.
Right.
And so we always have this discussion, and I'm a hard no district tournament person.
Yeah.
I just think there's just too many things that can go wrong.
Sure.
But but I was just curious on your take. It
Well,
always makes me district tournament conversation is always interesting.
I've only known district tournament. I've never played or really been around a league that much that didn't play one. Obviously, when you're running a district tournament, conference tournaments in college, same thing, where you're just giving somebody an opportunity to try to make it in. The only true argument that I do have for it would be if you've got a good freshman group and you can insert some life into that program and that time, and you can give yourself a chance to win and go on. There's a argument for that. I could see it both ways though, because the regular season does have, you do diminish the regular season some with the district tournament. Without it, the regular season is the most important thing for seeding. Of course, you still got to play the regional tournament and all that to get into state and all that. So I'm going to say just because I've been around it all the time, I'd say I'm for it, but I could definitely see both sides of the coin on it.
That's fair.
So
that's fair.
Anyway, well, man, appreciate you joining me here and just chopping it up. And, we're looking forward to postseason basketball. I love, you know me. I'm a fan of it all. I mean, you know me for a long time.
You are.
And I'm definitely a fan of basketball and football. And I love football. I love me some football. But when it comes down to just tournament time, it's hard to beat basketball. It really is.
It is. There's just something special about it. But, hey, real quick, thank you for having me. But, man, I appreciate what you do for kids around the state, and I appreciate what you do for our sports around the state. I want you to know that. Heber Springs appreciates you. So,
well, I appreciate that, man.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, we get a lot more love than we don't. And, everybody's a critic. You know this as well as I do, being a coach, that everybody thinks they can do. And I say everybody. There's a group of people that think they can do things better than what you can do. But at the end of the day, we love what we're doing, and we're going to continue to do it, and going to continue to try to grow it and make it the best thing that we know how to do.
Well, you do get a great job, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Coach Spencer Gay of the Heber Springs Lady Panthers joining me here on the Arkansas Sports Now, and we'll be back here in just a moment.
We're back.
All right, thank you. Coach Spencer Gay talking 4A girls hoops, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking 4A and 1A, and we'll talk some in the in-between as well, but because we're going to be at both the 4A and the 1A, we're going to talk about those. In fact, Blevins and Nevada has played since we talked. Blevins beat Nevada 90-87 in the boys.
Oh, man.
Yeah, a big-time ball game there. Nevada bounced back last night, though, and beat Kirby, which was a big win for them. They beat them like 57-28 or something like that. They really got them last night.
They're just trading punches down there.
I'm going to tell you right now, you're right. They are. Nevada's playing really good basketball right now. I mean, they went to Blevins and won that ball game. I'm sorry, they lost that ball game 90-87. They won at home against Blevins 86-73. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when they play in postseason. I think they play a district tournament. I'm pretty sure they do. Anyway, we've went down the list of big games tonight. Again, look for our rankings coming up on Sunday. I really don't have much else. Is there anything else to talk about right now?
No.
And Razorbacks, really not much to talk about. Ain't nothing happened with them. They play Saturday at Mississippi State. Have not won at Mississippi State since 2015.
Yeah, we got to change that.
Bobby Portis was on the basketball team.
Oh, my.
The last time Arkansas won at the Hump. And to be honest with you, they haven't won very many games at all there. I could probably find their record there. I'm Googling this as we go. Anyway, Division II, Arkansas Tech girls and Harding girls are battling at the top right now. And on the boys' side, Washita Baptist, I think, has got a 13-1 record or something like that in the Great American Conference. Mississippi State holds a 24-7 record over Arkansas in Starkville.
Yep.
And the last time Arkansas won that game, 65-61 on February 21st, 2015. That was the last time Arkansas won a game there. So they play Saturday. Arkansas needs to bounce back. Texas A&M lost at the top of the conference, so they're back to a one-game situation there. Arkansas's got to find a way to play better defense.
Yeah,
if
they
don't,
struggle on defense
if they don't play better defense, they're not going to win.
Mm-mm.
They're not going to be as good as they can be, and I hope that they figured out a way to kind of circle the wagon, so to say, and win, this week and hopefully kind of get this thing going in the right direction, because being one game out halfway through the season, you got a chance to win the conference, which would probably guarantee them at least a 4 seed, maybe even a 3. So that'd be great. Been a while since you've seen that happen for Arkansas. I think they were a 3 under Muss one time, a 4 under Muss one time, but really since then, really, Lord, since 95, if you make the tournament, they basically have made it like a 6 seed or above. So anyway, well, guys, that's it. Nobody's commenting today, and
Terrible.
It's
Terrible,
just kind of
guys.
it's just kind of lacking today. But we did get a chance to talk to Garrett Hill. We did get a chance to talk to Spencer Gay, and we'll talk to a few more as we go, as we get closer to basketball postseason. So anyway, we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you joining us here on Arkansas Sports Now, and we will see you next week.